Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Yesterday, I brought you a video how I explained that much of today's interracial unions is based upon fetishes, stereotypes, and kinks. And I went on to explain how they are not anything like the interracial unions of yesteryear. And before I go on any farther, I want to give you a reminder of what the rapper Mino says about these unions and what he likes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never talked about this.
Ah, shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I like to play like a runaway slave.
Okay.
I like to play like a disobedient slave with a white woman.
So tell me, like, what you say.
Yes, Master. I'm so sorry.
It's two of them. Like, it's like me getting whooped, right?
You get whooped?
It's like I play like you whipping, but most of them don't want to play like that. This
Yeah, I was gonna say, what white woman goes along with this?
They don't want to play like that. They don't.
Okay.
This is my. It's like, listen, you're gonna act like your master's wife,
and I'm the runaway.
and I just got whooped by Massa for eyeballing
okay.
me. But the whole time you've been really, you
eyeballing
like it.
me
You've been
anyway.
eyeballing me.
Oh, this sounds like some freaky porn. I'm interested.
Right, this is some freaky shit. And then I'm gonna come all sweaty, right? Just finished getting whooped, and you're gonna say, "No, Billy Joe, no, Billy Joe, no." Master's not gonna like it. He's not gonna like it. That's what you know you want, lady. This is
Keep
old
going.
script. Yeah, it's old script.
Okay, so you heard the rapper speaking, and basically he says he enjoys role-playing as a runaway slave during sex with white women. Now, today's video, I'm going to touch on the other side of that, and I want you to see that it is not just the straights who are doing that. It is also members of the LBGTQ plus QI community who is doing this also. This today is going to be two gay couples who are into this sexual role play. These role plays I find to be very unsettling, very disturbing, and to be honest with you, very immature. And I want you to have a look at this right here. Just look at what they're talking about intersexual role play, and you have to wonder, if sex was taken out of the equation, what exactly do they have left? But read this for yourself. Okay, as you've seen that is no different than what the rapper was talking about when he describes his sexual role play with white women. And what these two are talking about is a form of master, servant type of role play. And many of these unions today, they don't really have to go that far. You know, you can go so far as to sexual fetishize someone's appendage or their phallic. You can be into the BBC. You can be into size. You can be in the very fact that it's something big and black that you're going to be getting. Or you can go as far as perverse as they are going. And yes, I do say perverse. And the reason why I say perverse is because no other group of people, no other group of people are going to sexual role play off their trauma. European colonizers killed so many Native Americans that it changed the global climate, researchers say. What type of Native American is going to sexual role play about them being slaughtered and displaced by Europeans? They don't do that. They have enough sense and, to not do something so sick and perverse as that. Who role plays off of trauma? What type of Japanese person is going to do a sexual role play after being interned in internment camps during World War II? No one is going to do that. See, you got to look at, it's strange how we are the only group of people who think it's okay to sexual role play off our trauma from slavery, considering what the slaves have gone through. Girls, 11, 12 years old, being taken advantage of. People having foots chopped off. Babies being fed to alligators. People being whipped. Families being displaced, torn apart. And we're talking about sexual role play, trauma of something like that, and we find fetishes with that? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just shows you how sick we are. No Jewish person is going to do a sexual role play of the Holocaust. They won't do that. It just seems like to me that we as black people tend to be the only group of people who want to go there in sexual role play. That's why I say that many of these interracial unions, this junk that's out there today, it's not based upon this love is love. We love to get up there and say with these unions how love is love and somehow elevate them to some type of higher standard that we should aspire to. That somehow we look at this, or they want us to look at this as people who are helping society to deal with the racial injustices of the world. And that's something that we should somehow praise and glorify, because the unions happen to be of different races or different colors or different creeds, different ethnicities. No, most of that stuff today is based upon self-hate, dislike of oneself, uncomfortable with one's group, not wanting to reproduce what you are, somehow with this foolish notion that if I were to reproduce outwardly, is going to create a child that's much more beautiful in terms of like skin being lighter, hair texture being looser. We're the only fools, the only race that celebrates that buy into that false notion. And we really do need help for that. This is a couple right here named Zend and Ray. I want to talk on another fetish right here, because they also do an OnlyFans. And the one to the left, the darker skinned one, was the more submissive partner here. So the lighter skinned one was the more dominant partner. And boy, the gay boys didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. It was a turnoff to a lot of them. The reason being, this big black mandingo fantasy. They wanted to see the darker skinned guy in the more dominant role. They wanted to see the lighter skinned guy in the more passive role. That can also be a form of sexual fetishes right there. You don't have to go so far as to a master slave. It could be fetish based upon coloration, based upon the BBC thing, based upon someone being dominant, someone being submissive. A lot of that junk right there. That's why I don't see or look at any of these unions today. I shouldn't say any of them. I'm not going to put all of them into a box, a category, and just say, wow, love is love. That's based upon true love. It's based upon people really finding each other who they connected with and have something in common. Some of that could be the case. A lot of it's not. A lot of what's done today, because of the prevalence of porn, is nothing but a porn fantasy that has crept over into society faster than what people realize and deeper than what people realize. So these unions right here where people are doing these sexual fetishes, and bringing in master, servant, slave, all this nonsense and junk right there. It just shows you how warped people's mindset is and mentality is. It's just to show you where we are as black people. And it's to show you, to me, that we don't really love other races of people, primarily white people who we get into these unions with, as much as we think we do. A lot of our attraction to them is based upon fantasies and fetishes, which is something that we need to get over at ASAP. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.